Cardano just dropped something the crypto world has never seen before. We're talking about a product that's already locked up 633,000 ADA in less than a week, and it's completely changing how staking works on one of the biggest blockchains out there. But that's not even the wildest part. The European Union is about to put Cardano at the center of a massive digital infrastructure rollout that could affect millions of products across Europe. And right now, ADA is sitting at a technical level that historically signals the start of monster rallies. So what's really happening here? Why is nobody talking about this? And more importantly, should you be paying attention before this thing potentially explodes? Let's break it down. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and smash the like. It genuinely helps the algorithm show this to more people who need to see it. And if you've been here before, you already know we don't do clickbait. We do deep dives with actual data, real analysis, and a bit of humor to keep things entertaining. So buckle up, because today's episode is packed. The network just launched Diffusion, which they're calling the first ever staking basket. Now, I know what you're thinking. Staking baskets sound like something you'd buy at a farmer's market. But stay with me, because this innovation is actually genius. Here's the deal. Traditional staking on Cardano means you pick one stake pool operator, delegate your ADA, and hope they don't mess up. If that pool goes offline or underperforms, your rewards tank. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket. Except, the basket is run by some guy named Crypto Wizard 69, who might be staking from his mom's basement. Diffusion changes everything. It spreads your stake across 50 different operators simultaneously. Diversification meets decentralization, and suddenly, you're not sweating bullets every time one pool hiccups. But here's where things get interesting. Diffusion already has over 633,000 ADA locked in total value. That's not some small-time experiment. That's serious capital moving into a brand new product. So, the pools included here aren't just picked out of a hat. We're talking about community favorites like ADA Farm, Bliss Staking, Spectrum Pool, and Granada Pool. Now, ADA Farm gets the biggest slice at 3.44%, while most others are sitting at 1.97%. And the kicker, these operators weren't just hand-picked by some centralized team. Nope, the Cardano community voted them in through decentralized governance earlier this year. Pretty cool, right? Now, participants don't just earn ADA rewards. Oh no, they also receive ATMA tokens, which are going to have some serious utility in Atrium, a Cardano ecosystem hub that's launching soon. When you deposit ADA, you get Diffusion tokens in return. These tokens represent your stake and accumulated rewards, making it way easier to plug into DeFi protocols later on. It's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities. And this is where, honestly, my brain starts spinning, because if you can tokenize your staking position, you can potentially use it as collateral, trade it, or even leverage it in ways traditional staking never allowed. That's not just an improvement, folks, that's a paradigm shift. It's a whole new ballgame. But wait, there's more. And yes, I sound like an infomercial, but honestly, there's a lot happening here. Diffusion also solves a massive headache: taxes. Instead of creating taxable events at every single epoch, users only realize staking income when they actually claim rewards. For anyone who's tried to calculate Cardano staking taxes manually, you know this is basically a miracle. My accountant is probably doing backflips right now. So, why does all this matter? Because Diffusion addresses one of Cardano's oldest problems: stake pool centralization. Historically, bigger pools attract more delegation because they're perceived as safer. Smaller community-run pools struggle to compete, even when they're technically excellent. This concentration of power undermines decentralization, which is supposed to be the whole point. Diffusion flips the script. By distributing stake across 50 operators, it strengthens smaller pools without sacrificing user rewards. It's like Robin Hood, except instead of stealing from the rich, you're just staking smarter. And the governance angle. Chef's kiss. Diffusion integrates DREPs, delegated representatives who let you vote on ecosystem proposals while you're staking. You're earning rewards and participating in governance simultaneously. Financial incentives meet political power. That's the kind of dual utility that separates serious Layer 1 blockchains from pretenders. Let's talk about the really big news that nobody's covering. The Cardano Foundation just announced they're contributing to the European Union's digital product passport rollout. If that sounds boring, you're not paying attention. DPPs are mandatory digital records tracking a product's entire life cycle, durability, sustainability, repairability, all of it. And the EU is putting Cardano blockchain at the center of this infrastructure. Think about what that means. Every product sold in Europe could potentially have its journey verified on Cardano. We're talking verifiable origin, counterfeit prevention, and ESG claim verification. If you've ever wondered whether your organic cotton t-shirt was actually organic or just expensive lies, blockchain-based DPPs would answer that question with cryptographic certainty. Cardano's immutable ledger provides tamper-proof records across supply chains. That's not some speculative DeFi play. That's real-world institutional adoption happening right now. The foundation is already building Viridian, a native digital identity platform for secure, user-controlled credentials. This isn't vaporware. Charles Hoskinson recently outlined Cardano's upcoming Omega stage, where governance evolves into a self-improving system. So, translation here is that the network is moving toward complete decentralization, with mechanisms that actually upgrade themselves over time. That's honestly sci-fi level stuff happening in real time. But here's where I gotta inject some skepticism, because yeah, I'm not just here to shill bags. The EU's DPP mandate is ambitious, maybe like a bit too ambitious. Supply chain integrations are honestly notoriously complex. Getting every manufacturer, distributor, and retailer to adopt blockchain-based tracking, that's a multi-year, multi-billion euro initiative with, tons of friction points. Can Cardano actually pull this off at scale? The technology exists, but implementation is a different beast entirely. That said, the foundation isn't messing around. They just announced an 8-figure allocation in ADA to support liquidity for Cardano-based stablecoin projects. This funding comes from the newly established stablecoin DeFi liquidity budget. They're literally paying to accelerate DeFi growth on the network. When you see institutional money moving this aggressively, it signals confidence. They're betting big on Cardano's future, and they're putting actual capital behind it. Now, let's talk price action, because I know that's why half of you clicked this video. ADA is currently trading at 70 cents, a little over 70 cents actually, with a market cap over $25.28 billion. Following last week's market crash, ADA bounced more than 10%, showing relative strength compared to other altcoins. But the real story is technical. According to Analyst Sssebi, if ADA closes this week above 80 cents, right around its 50-week moving average, that would be a massive signal. Historically, this moving average has marked pivot points for long-term trend reversals. It's where Cardano shifted from bear market grind to bull market momentum in previous cycles. Reclaiming it would suggest we're transitioning from reactive selling to sustained buying pressure. Momentum oscillators are already turning upward. Downside pressure is fading. Fail to hold. And we're back to choppy consolidation. Here's my take. Cardano is making moves that matter. Diffusion is innovative, the EU partnership is legitimate, the technical setup is promising, but crypto markets don't care about fundamentals until they suddenly do. We've seen plenty of projects with great tech go nowhere for months before randomly exploding. Timing matters, patience matters, and, risk management matters even more. So, what's the bottom line? Cardano is building infrastructure that could, honestly, redefine staking, power European supply chains, and establish itself as a leader in real-world blockchain adoption. The Diffusion launch proves they can innovate beyond just research papers. The EU partnership proves they can secure institutional relationships. And, well, the price action suggests the market might finally be waking up to what's happening. If you found this breakdown valuable, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts on Cardano, and subscribe if you haven't already. I've got more deep dives coming on other projects making real moves in this market, so check out the playlist in the description. You're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Quick reminder before you go, nothing I say is financial advice. Crypto is volatile, speculative, and you can lose everything. Do your own research, never invest more than you can afford to lose, and don't make decisions based on YouTube videos, including mine. I'm just here to break down information and share analysis. You're responsible for your own money. Stay safe out there.